got old Wild Bill's mare in here now, and show us what it takes to fit a tree to a horse.
Well, first of all, one of the interesting things about saddle fit is if you look at most horses' backs, from behind the shoulder back, the conformation of their backs are surprisingly the same. What tends to be an issue with saddle fit is where the scapula comes into play, and then of course the height of the wither. So whenever we set this on this horse's back, the first thing we want to do is locate this mare's scapula. So this mare's back comes back to about right here. Position the saddle on the horse's back, behind the scapula, and what we're looking for here is that we've got no acute point of pressure and no sharp edges or acute points of contact. Full even contact throughout the entire length of the bar. We have the flared bar tips that allows the shoulder to move, and we're off the loin back here so that whenever she rounds her back to stop, this is a cutting mare, a hard stopper, she's going to be encouraged to continue to do her job.
And of course you want a symmetrical fit with both sides of the tree on the horse.
Both sides of the tree on the horse, right. And one of the things that we're really conscious of is staying away from the spine. So we've got enough space between the bars that whenever this mare stops hard, turns through herself with that lateral flexion move coming off of the cow, that this bar is not going to come in contact with her back and do her any damage at all to the spine.
Now, one of the things, and in one of your concepts in fitting your saddles to these horses, you've talked about a 7/8 fit, and you've talked about a full forward fit. You come well back behind the scapula. Explain to us those two positions, and I know it's hard to show on just a tree, but explain to us those two positions, and we can get into it a little bit more when we have the full leather on the saddle.
Okay. Well, I set this tree on this mare's back without any conscious thought of where to rig it, because her back is going to tell us where the rig needs to be placed. And that's one of the issues, I think, with saddle making so many times, is that before we even know how the saddle needs to fit the horse, we dictate where the saddle's going to ride. We've come up with a concept. Brian Peterson, that heads up our saddle shop at Martin Saddlery, has been working on this in conjunction with his wife, and for about 2 years now, and we think we've perfected a rigging system that accommodates basically every horse.
And now, again, one of your concepts is the finished saddle is only as good as the tree. What are some of the detrimental things that a tree can cause to a horse in messing up their performance?
Well, a lot of things. There's basically about 4 to 5 things that happen with bad fit. This mare has had some fit issues. As you can see, some white hairs popping out on her right here. So that's too much pressure. We have the situation where there's the dry spots or the beginning of white hairs, a lot of ruffled hair with the tree and how it fits. A lot of times in a 7/8 saddle, or if a saddle doesn't necessarily fit the horse's back with full even flat contact, the bars end up riding on the point of the loin and up here on the shoulder, basically in 4 spots. Bridging is what we call it. The other issue is where we have too much rock in the bar. And so it's rocking back and forth here in the center without the full contact throughout the entire length. So basically this portion of the tree is the only part that's in contact with the horse's back. Trees can be too narrow, so that the tree tends to ride basically on the edge of the bar in contact with the horse's back, or they can be so wide that the tree falls down onto the back. There's not enough gullet clearance here, and so we have contact with the spine.
And you mentioned the rock, you also mentioned the bridging. How about the roll that we sometimes get with our saddles on our horses?
Well, many times roll comes into play whenever either the bar is skating on too thin of an edge on the horse's back, but most of all it's where we don't get that saddle down far enough on that horse's back to allow the weight of the saddle and the rider to be evenly distributed over this muscle mass here that really was designed to carry weight. Imagine carrying pipe in a pipe yard, and you carry it all day up here on your shoulder. It's not a very comfortable spot to be.
No, sir.
But if we can distribute that pressure over a larger area of muscle mass here, we can make this horse more comfortable and more happy about doing her job.
Well, it basically turns the horse's body into a team and making it work as a team to carry the load and do the work.
Absolutely. Letting this shoulder turn and move, do its job, allowing this mare to turn laterally, drag her tail, make those hard stops and turns, without digging into her back.
Now, is there a way for just the individual, and it's important to fit a saddle right for a horse, whether you're trail riding, whether you're cutting, barrel racing, roping, how can the average person who's out there looking to purchase a saddle make sure their saddle's going to fit right?
Well, you have to look for the telltale indicators, like we talked a little bit about before. Dry spots, white hairs, ruffled hair. Those are all immediate signs. Maybe you're cinching your horse up and she wants to back her ears and bite you because it hurts. Maybe whenever she's saddled up and you try to lift up the legs, she doesn't want to let you have it and becomes irritable about it when normally she doesn't want to without the saddle on. Those are indicators that we're biting her or the horse in a position that makes him feel uncomfortable.
Well, Ken, that's great information about the tree. I'll tell you what, let's go ahead and pad one up, put a full Martin saddle on, see how we rig one up that way.
Okay, let's do it.